Hello all, and I'm back again with another video. And to start this series off, we are just going to start with setting up our development environment and making sure our application structure is right. So without wasting any more time, we can just start coding. So I'm going to navigate to my desktop. I'm going to maximize this here. Here on the desktop, I will create our application. We'll call it Shortify. I will navigate to Shortify, and within Shortify I'll create two folders. I'll create app and config. App will contain the application code, the models, the routes, the utility files, and generally all the code that the app needs to run. And then the configuration will contain the configuration files. We'll have two configuration files, development and production config. So let me just create that here and make the config. I'll also set up our virtual environment. I would activate it, and then I will install dependencies that the app needs. So I'll install Flask for Flask itself, Flask migrate for migrating models. Flask scripts is script files that Flask migrate needs to help it do its thing. And with this done, I'm just going to open the application here in Vim. Please forgive the background noise. I have noisy neighbors. So here in the app, what I'm thinking is, like I said, for config will have two config files. One would be development.py. The other one would be production.py. And in app itself, I would have __ init.py. And then in the Shortify folder itself, I'll create the run file. The run file will be like the entry point of the application, so that we can just say python run.py to run the app, or Flask run if our environment variables are set properly. While the init file here in the app will be to initialize the application with the configuration that we need. So I'm just going to start with the configuration here in development config. I am going to start with debug equal to true, and then set our secret key. We'll call it, I'll just say top secret, but you should make your secret key to be not easy to guess, because this key is very, very important to the app. We use it to encrypt sensitive information that the application uses, so you have to make it difficult to guess. Here in production, we don't need debug. Since we are in production, we should just set the secret key. And we'll still just call it top secret. And the next thing we should do is here in the init method, I'm thinking we should instead of just initializing the app, I'm going to create a function called create app. Create app will take the configuration name, and then based on the configuration name, we'll get into this config and then use the configuration file to pass it to the application and as the application's configuration. So first I'll say from Flask, import Flask. I would say create the function create app. Create app will take a configuration name, And the first thing you will do is you say app is equal to flask of underscore name, and then I would say config is equal to os.path.join. Let me import os here. So config will be os.path.join, the current working directory, which is the apps directory. Oops, web.app.join, os.get current working directory, and then config. So config will be this config folder. So get the current working directory, which is Shotify, and then inside Shotify we'll go to config, and within config we want the config name. In this case, since config name can take two values, we can give it development on production. So we'll say config name plus .py, and then we can now pass this configuration to the app. So app.config.from py file, we'll give it config. So with this configuration given to the application, we can just return the app. Okay. Yeah, that looks okay. Then we go to the run. We'll go to the run file, and here we have to just import create app and then pass it the configuration name. So I can say import from app, import create app, and then we can just say config is equal to, now we have to get the configuration that we want to pass to create app. We have to get it from the environment. I can say config is equal to os. Okay, let me import os here. Import os. So I can say os.environ.get config. So we'll export config as a parameter in our environment variable. So we can say config is equal to development. This way this config variable will get that config string and then pass it to create app. And we can say app is equal to create app of config, and we can just say if underscore name is equal to underscore main. We can just run the app.run. So if everything is okay, we should be able to run the code now. So to run the code, we have to export the configuration file, the configuration environment variable that we need. In this case, we can say export config is equal to development, so that run will get this config variable, this development, and then pass it to create app. Create app will use it to create a configuration from the development configuration, give it to the app, and then run it. So from here I can just, if everything is okay, I can say python run.py. Boom, and the application starts. And this is technically it. But because Flask also has support for scripts called Flask run, and if all you need to do is point to the app, and Flask will know how to run it. So to tell it the app, I can say export Flask app equal to run, meaning I'm telling Flask that the application is in the run file. So if I export this, I should be able to say Flask run, and it starts the app too. So I think right now we are really good to go. This is good, and I hope to see you in the next video. The next video will be, we'll have to set up our models, see how they relate to each other, the user, the URL, and make sure everything is good. Set up our migration scripts and go from there. So see you in the next video. Thank you.